All right, here we go, boys.
Diablo
Reacting
4
to the
feedback,
reaction.
8 full pages of suggestions. All right, let's go.
Just
Let's
got
see it.
done blasting the Diablo 4 beta, and I have compiled all of my feedback along with Twitch chat. They have been helping me for 2 straight days,
Okay.
and we have this 8-page document
Yep.
that I'd like to go over with you. It's
lit.
not going to take
I like how they
all that long.
Oh,
put
it's
black
lit. Let's
in the
go.
background, made it more
for
like D4 feel.
10 straight hours and explain it to you, but a lot of people have been asking me, Rax, what is your feedback? You played Diablo 3 for 10 million years.
Some context behind Raxtarax. He's one of the main contributors for Max
D3.
Roll. It's a build guide website, and it also features other types of resources for, building
The WoW head
characters,
of
playing
Diablo
the game.
3.
He was a really big guy. Sad to say, he tried to give an honest chance to Diablo Immortal. That ended whenever he played PvP, and he got queued up against probably either Rich or JT, and got a bit of a reality check. So before that, he played a lot of Diablo 3. This guy's a big fan of Diablo, really likes the game, and very passionate about it. Yeah, he got sucked up. He got ate by a whale, and the whale didn't even know that it ate him. It didn't even know what happened. It was like a ricochet attack from an auto.
Yeah, he was a
attack
plankton
prop
to a whale
from
shark.
a
It's like,
legendary
what?
that has $8,000 of resources.
They're sucking in so many of them, they don't even fucking know the difference between any of them.
Diablo 2 for 10 million years.
They don't know the
A lot
S
of
tier plankton, the
WoW.
F tier, because it's all the
I've
same.
been in other testing phases
When you have so
of
much fucking
Diablo
gear
4.
Yeah.
that you buy.
So I'm
Diablo
going to go
Immortal.
through and I'm going to tell you what I thought
I
Blizzard
didn't
has
do
done
any
really
Diablo
well
4
so far.
testing.
What they need
Outside
to
of,
look
the
at that
public one.
requires attention is needs to be fixed in my opinion. Nice to haves would be some importance, some quality of life stuff that we could get in Diablo 4, but it's not mandatory. And finally, some philosophical questions for Blizzard about the game that I would love to hear their input on.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. The one time that I don't remember which guy it was. I think it was Joe on the Diablo 4 team. Goes is players don't like having to run back to an empty dungeon to go collect a key. So we're working on a solution to make mobs respawn. It's like, Joe, you missed the point.
You just don't want to go back.
Oh, you're so close. Oh, he's so
They just don't want to go back.
isn't he?
So the beta was live for 75 hours. I played 62 hours of it, and I had 6
Close but no cigar.
characters. In hardcore and softcore, I killed a
Holy
Shava
shit.
all 4 times. So I played Fire
Why
Sorcerer,
2 of
I
each
played Lightning
class?
Sorcerer, of course. I played the Hydra stuff. I played
Yeah, smart.
a Barrage Rogue, Flurry Rogue, Twisted Blades Rogue. I played.
No, this guy's the real deal. If you care about theory crafting and serious fucking
True.
neckbeard gaming, this guy's the guy. He knows what he's talking about.
Thorns Barb, I played Upheaval Barb, and previously I played a lot of other specs, so I've seen a lot of it. Anyway, let's just get into it. So what has Blizzard done well in Diablo 4? The first thing I think that really nobody can complain about is the combat. It's very smooth, it has an incredible engine, you can fight really well. You just feel like you have complete control. And
When you're not disconnecting, yeah.
I'd like
They
to follow
they
that
fixed
up
that in the
and say
recent
I
patch.
agree. I do think that there are some issues, for example, that one NPC that Zizrain used as an example, where he's just you can't really see him because he's wearing black and it's a brown background and the whole thing is dark, and then there's other dark things happening, and then he shoots bats at you and the animation for it isn't very well telegraphed, so it'll just instantly kill you. I do think combat on a functional level is S tier. I will.
I didn't have that
say
issue, but yeah.
Diablo Immortal had great combat.
Yeah.
It did. I thought
True.
it was totally fine. Whenever it wasn't latency based, the combat for Diablo Immortal was totally fucking good. And you know what? If you go back to Diablo 3, the Diablo 3 combat is still fucking good. So yeah, I absolutely would say that. 100 fucking %, man. It honestly did. Pay to win wasn't in it. Yep, I thought so. I thought the combat for it was great. It was good in Diablo Immortal. It was good in Diablo 3. And I played a little bit of Diablo 2 Resurrected. We're going to finish the whole playthrough after probably this whole beta thing and, you know, a couple other things maybe. But Diablo 2 combat was great too. Blizzard, I mean, World of Warcraft Classic WoW was made in 2004. And I feel like in some ways, like, Warcraft has gone backwards in terms of how combat feels. Like, you play Classic WoW, that shit's snappy as fuck. Blizzard is good at some things.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Things,
Yo, Shluby, thank you for the follow.
Game feel
Appreciate that.
and responsiveness. They're really good at that.
Trey love in the chat for that. Thank you very much, man.
And it feels fucking great.
The movement is really good. The force moving, teleporting, you know, there's a little bit of bugs where there's like invisible walls and sometimes you leave and it doesn't work. Things like that. But overall, moving around feels quite well, or quite good, excuse me. Another problem is that a lot of things can't be bound to scroll wheel, and I know that's a huge problem. A lot of people use it. I wanted to use it for evade. Some people want to use it for force move. That has to be fixed, but moving around is pretty fantastic.
Yeah, I agree with that. I also think they need to
make everything bindable, but I don't.
Movement.
Doesn't matter to me.
It's a superior movement, and if it's not, then what's the problem adding it?
In my opinion, played a lot of video games.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
Complete sound package, the movement, the monsters, the gold dropping, the ambient noise is one of the
legendary sound sounds really good. All of the sounds in Diablo 4 are somehow, to me, even more appealing than watching Trey stream. Like, I'm telling you, bro, like, it feels good.
Sound packages for any game ever. I just think it's incredible. You have some nice headphones, plug them in, turn up the volume, and play the game. It's an experience. They did an incredible job there.
Yeah, the volume or the audio has always been good in Diablo.
There aren't many ARPGs
the music,
out there,
everything,
in my opinion, that look better than Diablo 4.
I don't know. Like, I haven't played Last Epoch. I plan on it. I just haven't played it yet. I haven't played that either. There might be games that look as good as Diablo 4, but I feel like Diablo 4's graphics for an ARPG,
look it up.
What it is, it's hard to get better than that.
It's a bit of a performance issue, though.
It doesn't look better than Diablo 4.
And it just absolutely torches it.
And yes, the graphics cards do get destroyed. I don't know. They have to fix that. The optimization. They added a driver update the other night. It like kind of helped, I think. But I'm like running on like low settings just because I'm scared. But yeah, this is Epoch, so it definitely doesn't look better than D4. Haven't played it yet, so it could look different than the image, but yeah, it's not. It's probably not. Like, I want to get like a D for this. Okay, never mind. Hold on, let me do. It's like that compared to something like that. You can't really like see though. Yeah, I guess it's not gonna be like that great of a comparison, but that was the world boss. Access denied. Nice. Yeah, who knows, honestly. I think I'm taking too much time trying to find that and like compare it. Maybe, but probably not.
I was streaming actually on the lowest.
D4 does look pretty smooth.
That many hours.
See, like, to me, if I set my fucking computer on fire, I get a new computer. I don't even know, like, there's like a thermometer, but like the angle of the PC, I can't really look at it. If I burn the bitch up, Look, that's natural selection. I can't speak to this.
Yeah,
I
but
thought my
he has enough money for that. Not everyone is, in his situation. So
computer was literally going to explode. So there needs to be some
Giga Chad
optimization
though.
before it goes live. Otherwise, we're going to see a lot of graphics cards in the graveyard.
Yeah, there were other people
One thing
saying
that
they
I
had.
thought they did.
By the way, there were other people that had 3080s, I believe, that had problems with Diablo 4. I have a 2080 Ti.
You have a
I
2080.
had relatively no problems with the game,
Mm.
so I don't really
Could be a RAM issue too, maybe. But
think there's a lot wrong
the
with
3
the game.
series,
It
the
could
3
be a
series, I
graphics
don't think
card
it's
issue.
optimized.
Also, NVIDIA
Or-
put out a driver fix for Diablo 4
Yeah.
yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
so that could also change things. If I'm having problems today, I will download that driver update as well.
Well with is treasure goblins, and the reason why is treasure goblins in the previous iteration were really quite meaningless. They appeared everywhere. They don't really drop you stuff that's that valuable. You just don't care about them at a certain point. The treasure goblins here are much more rare, and they drop you stuff that's a little bit more valuable. So I thought that felt a lot better. I would like to see them add different kinds of goblins, though, especially ones
Yes.
Diablo 4
Yes.
open a rainbow.
Yeah.
I was talking about this today. Yes.
Vault. If they've got stuff like that
Yes.
planned, I think it's going to be a really nice touch.
It's way more exciting. I remember I killed a treasure goblin and I got 37 gold. Not a good time.
The game.
True.
Another thing that I think is better in Diablo 4 than compared to the other previous Diablo games is treasure chests. Treasure chests
I
in
agree with
general, I
this.
think, have better loot than I've seen in the previous games.
Yeah, well, you want to open them. And also, I think the reason why treasure chests
Yeah.
stand
That's
out
what I hate
more
about
is
WoW
that
too. Like the chests
they
never really
are
felt
more
like rewarding.
visible.
It's most of the
easier
time it's
to
like
see
fucking
them.
trash in there.
Because like everything else is really dark, and the treasure chests are.
But I'd
like,
rather have
old.
fewer of them
So,
and
yeah,
have
I
them
think
be
the
more
treasure
meaningful
chests look even better
than just
especially
like
whenever
so
they're,
many of
like,
them and they're just like
the
ass.
juxtaposition between the super dark area and there's like one fucking resplendent chest. It's like, oh my god. Yeah, I think that's a good thing, by the way. It's fucking great. So yeah, I'm happy to see the treasure chests have a little bit more value.
And
Yeah.
another thing,
I hope they add a third tier of rarity for treasure chests, like legendary treasure chests or something like that. I think that'd be really cool.
about the loot is, or another thing about treasure chests, is they can spawn events. The treasure chest
Yeah.
itself can be cursed.
Even
It
the
spawns an event,
health
which essentially
wells,
changes
which is
what
really
you
cool.
thought was going to happen. And anytime that happens in the game, I think it's an advantage. Like the
After you kill the first 5 waves, I think every wave after that should spawn an elite.
True, that's not a bad idea.
Like, I don't want to just kill a bunch of fucking waves and non-elites.
It should be harder and harder as you progress
Like,
too,
and
because
also,
if you
like,
kill it really
for-
fast, like you should be rewarded for that. So it's like, okay, you did the 5 waves, there's still time left. Now like we'll start giving you elites, and like if you get to like wave 7, like there's a higher chance of it dropping legendary, let's say, like, or a good item for you. That is awesome if they implement that.
For whatever reason, like if that's not possible, then why is it to where like every level doesn't spawn like it doesn't make the elites that spawn at the end more powerful, or it doesn't make more elites at the end spawn? Because like imagine if you clear like 20 waves and like the timer runs out and you have 20 fucking elites spawn all out of nowhere. That would be badass. We need more badass moments in the game.
Yeah.
Like in the same as
Like the first cinematic in the beta with Lilith, that was badass. Stuff like that. That makes you fucking like really love the game.
like remember in Reaper of Souls when they added the treasure goblin groups, there's like 30 treasure goblins.
But I will say this, the reality of like asking devs to like improve a game, especially when the game's supposed to be like released in like 3 months or so, you have to ask for simple things, because they're not going to rewrite entire systems or like rework entire systems. So you really have to like be careful what you ask for. And I feel like something like that would be simple to just like add rare mobs, but like, yeah, maybe not like, and maybe even like increase like drop of legendary from said rare mobs after 5th wave. But yeah, You can't get too crazy because they're just gonna be like, bro, like we already got our pre-orders, like, but the game's already pretty much made. Like we're done working. Like it's time to party for us. We don't give a shit anymore. You know, so you have to like keep that in mind. Keep it like simpler so that it's something that they'll actually like be able to achieve too.
Goblins,
But always aim high. Always aim high.
shit like that.
You know.
Health pool thing. I walked up to a health pool, clicking it, just thinking it was going to give me my health and refresh my potion charges. Nope, a big elite monster spawns and starts attacking me. And I'm like, okay, well, actually that was kind of cool. I wanted to heal myself and you just screwed me, but I actually kind of like that. So I think they're taking some of the previous things in Diablo games and making it and improving on it a little bit. To some people, they might say, well, that's just the same shit rehashed. It's stupid. And
It is the same shit rehashed, but I like hash. Like, my mom used to make me corned beef hash all the time. It's really good. I don't have a problem with rehashed. Only if it's good.
Corned beef and
Just heat it
cabbage,
up
pretty good too.
before then.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. That's not an incorrect statement, but a little bit of the tiny details to me actually look a lot better when you play these games all the time.
Yeah.
So I do think it's a little bit better. I do like the hidden quests. If you try to complete a lot of the side quests, even in the first zone, if you just walk around and pick up every side quest, you complete like 29 of 35 of them.
Yeah.
The other 6, you got to just go out and fight and get the quest to drop, the quest item to drop, which lets you do the side quest. It's kind of like the old World of Warcraft trick, or
It's like Lost Ark.
been used in other games. But I like the fact that you have to go out there and kind of earn the full completion. You can't just go to town, pick up the side quests, quickly do them, and be done. You got to kind of wonder, all right.
I agree with this. I think that Lost Ark's adventure journal and adventure guide, everything like that, I think it is absolutely S tier, and I'm glad to see Diablo 4 copying it.
Which ones am I missing here, and how do I actually
I like
finish
that.
this? I think it adds a little bit of longevity.
I think like the Exorcist quest is like that, and like the Warrior Tome or something like there's some warrior thing.
Some people hate
it's cool.
it, some people love it. It's kind of like
it's like a love-hate relationship, like he's about to say, but like it's like for the completionist, they'll just like Google it anyway. And then like if you stumble upon it organically and randomly, like, and people that don't look up shit, they'll like start exploring and like really check every crevice and corner for these items because, you know, they're a completionist. But if you are a completionist and you like don't want to do that, then you can just look it up after. Someone will make a video about it. Don't fucking bitch about it. Shut the fuck up. Okay, good.
the Final Fantasy thing where you walk into a town, you walk into every single building, you check every nook and cranny, you look behind.
No, you don't. No, you don't. What do you mean?
See, he's saying that,
bro, you go to the website.
Right. You can do whichever one you want to do.
You go to the website. You just go to the website, look at the different things. You click on the stuff, and it is what it is. I think the Altars of Lilith are really cool too. However, I think they're gonna be cool the first time the game comes out. If you make me re-click these every fucking season, I'm probably gonna skip a season at a certain point because I don't want to do a bunch of fucking chores I already did before.
Oh shit, my bad.
Bookshelf, da 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 da. Is there a secret here? I like running around looking for these little statues.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of fun. It's horizontal progression, but really it's not because it also gives you permanent stats to your entire account, and it boosts up your renown. So
it's literally the exact same as Lost Ark. Like they took the Lost Ark Adventure Journal and they just copied it exactly. Imagine, bro. Imagine after every imagine if they bring out.
That's fine. Look, that's fine. Everything that Blizzard copies is a good system. Don't try to there's nothing wrong with not being original. Like it's like the Simpsons didn't meme. Like any sitcom or whatever the fuck that tries to do like a unique episode, it's like Simpsons did it because they have like thousands of episodes. So it's gonna get to that point where it's hard to be a pioneer, right? In like the gaming world, which is maybe arguably already is because everyone just copies each other and it's like, oh, it works, okay, copy it. So just fucking copy it. And that's it, period. If it works, people like it, implement it. Who the fuck cares if it wasn't our idea? You know? And if you can improve upon that idea, even better. But don't fix what ain't broken. Just don't.
In Lost Ark, and it's like Volton fucking because he came down from what's it called? Petrania, the demon world. Whenever he came down, he did like a fucking earthquake, and it shook up all the Mokoko seeds, and you have to get them again. And nah, they're in the same spot, but you just have to go and click them all again. Nah, bro, like I don't think so. Yeah, you got to get your Tukey Beast Heart again. Fuck that.
Kind of important, actually.
Yeah, fuck that.
People were complaining, well, on seasons, are they going to reset it? Are we going to have to find this every time?
Yeah,
And the
that's
answer is
dumb.
absolutely. When you reset a season, you wipe everything.
Yeah, I think seasons are really dumb. I don't agree with seasons. I think they're fucking terrible. A lot of people, not that they care because it's like you pay for the game and that's it. So who cares? They don't care if you play more or not, right? But the reality is a lot of people will stop playing the game because of seasons. No one enjoys, especially when the content is exactly the same, building up their character to max and then, okay, well, you're fucked now. Time to reset and do it all over again. Like, no, people don't want to do that, especially when the end game systems are super grindy. There are going to be some people that enjoy that, but it's too niche of a group of people that enjoy that to do it, because half the people that still play and like enjoy that are just doing it because they like the game. They like Diablo, but not necessarily the systems, but they just play it because it's like the only game. Kind of like us with WoW. Like, we just play it because it's like, fuck, we've been playing it for almost 2 decades. Like, may as well just fucking keep playing like a dumbass. But like that is the seasons are so fucking bad. Like, it's annoying. It's really annoying. And one of the biggest things and the issues that Diablo 4 has is not having endgame content. And like, they think like the seasons and resetting is like creates that, but it doesn't. It just, there's only so many times I want to smash my head against the wall before it starts causing permanent damage, right? So yeah, I'll smash my head the first time to like do the first playthrough, but like, I'm not going to do multiple seasons. Like, what were there, like 28 fucking seasons in D3? Imagine the people that actually went through 28 seasons. Like, holy shit, man. Literal fucking brain rot after that. Like, it's just not possible to remain sane after that. It's not cool. Like, I think a lot of the, now listen to what I say carefully because it matters. A lot of the systems in Diablo Immortals were very good. The systems that didn't include, and this is the important part, that didn't include pay to win, because the pay to win shit was absolute ass. Like, literal fucking Battlegrounds algorithm to pair people who paid money with each other against people who didn't pay money so that they could like fucking own, right, and want to spend more money. Like, that is horrible. That's like literally fucking predatory. I don't agree with that. I never would agree with that. I think that was really fucking disgusting that they did that in the first place, and it is what it is. But we're gonna look past that and talk about D4 because that's what matters right now. And they could have the raid system. Think about hell and how many fucking demons are in hell. Like, you could fucking launch a demon every week if you really wanted to for like years. There are so many demons that you have in like Diablo lore, like, or there's like hell lore in general. So like, it's very simple to set up a system with like raids, even if it's like one fucking like you had in Immortals, like one demon per week or whatever, that unlocks like a next tier and give you like valuable rewards that might contribute to like newer end game content, right? Like, it works in WoW every time they open a new expansion, a new raid. People do it. Now, raids are usually the same, even the same mechanics, just maybe different appearances, etc. But for the most part, it's like the same, right? Dodge the shit on the ground, stack for this thing, taunt, swap for tanks, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh shit. Okay? So like, you can do that in Diablo as well and make it really enjoyable. And people will always come back at least for the new raids. But like, to do seasons, no one's going to want to like come back, level up the fucking character, do all over again what they did, and then do the raids. Like, that's just dumb, The same people with WoW. You have so many people that make a ton of alts and whatever, but you have those certain people that play the one character, and they do all the content once, and then they AFK until the next content, and then they do all that content once, and then AFK, and there's a lot of people that do that because not everyone has time to put in like every day. Like, like think about like the Rust servers, right? Like, Rust is one of those games where you have to be a degen, fucking quit your job, like literally fucking quit life and just sit there and fucking like play on that server if you don't want to ever get like your base rated and shit. Like, so the second you log off, and the more hours that contribute to, the more hours that accrue while you're logged off, means there's more of a chance that people are going to go and like destroy, fuck your base, and steal all your loot. So, you know, at the end of the day, you need to make it like casual player friendly, i.e., stop doing fucking seasons, because even the fucking pros don't want to do that. Like even the non-casuals don't want to do that. And actually, add content instead of just saying, "Oh, redo the content that's already there." Like that's so fucking lame. Anyways,
But I think
Nah, you don't have to. I don't agree with that. I think that you don't have to reset the long-term progression. I absolutely don't think so. It's like everything that we know about ARPGs should be up for debate. I don't want to be in a situation where we are adhering to something because the previous games adhered to it.
yeah.
Let's do something interesting and good rather than just follow the status quo.
Yeah.
people are underestimating. You'll get really good at finding these altars.
You may get more people interested in ARPGs if you do that too. It may become the ARPG instead of just another, right? So why not? Why not?
Once they,
But they already announced
release
season,
something
so
else,
it's like
Blizzard is
fucked
gonna be
already.
so
The game is just gonna be everyone's gonna get to max, like do everything for the one season, and once the next season comes, everybody's gonna stop playing. It's inevitable, but again, Blizzard doesn't care because it's a buy once and you're done. There's no like subscription to get them to like actually make new content to get you to continue your sub. It's like they got your $60 or $79, like now fuck off. Like we don't care anymore.
5 head that they move the altars every single season. If they move around, that's going to be crazy. I don't
That's
know.
even worse. Like there's no outcome in my mind that's not tilting where altars of Lilith have to get farmed every single season.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Like,
Especially if they swap
that's
spots.
tilting and it's
Yeah,
stupid
it's lame.
and it's pointless no
Agreed.
matter what.
Agreed.
Maybe they'll do that. Maybe they won't. Strongholds are kind of the new thing.
But it doesn't matter because I'm
Diablo
only gonna play
4
one
where
season.
It's like major corruption in an area. You have to go do all these tasks to free them, and
I
then
think strongholds are cool.
Yeah.
it actually permanently changes.
I think
the map.
strongholds can be
Exactly. Yeah,
a
it
good
has
Maybe it
system.
turns into a town. Maybe it
Maps or
unlocks a
new
dungeon. Maybe it
dungeons,
gives you a
yeah.
way.
They could add more, maybe.
Maybe all
in the
three. I have
future.
no idea. I find these
Just to
be
make
very
things
fun.
interesting,
I
spice it
find
up.
these to really work.
Yeah.
And you walk into a stronghold that's level 30, unless you're like a super overpowered build or you're just
Yeah,
tricked out and really
imagine that.
nice legendary
Mhm.
powers, probably not going to be able to complete it. It's just difficult. So you'd be like, all right, I better mark that one later and come back and clear it up. And it just gives me
Yeah, the difficulty of strongholds I think is really compelling. It gives casual players that
It wasn't that hard.
they're just a little bit of a push to go a little bit harder.
massive renown. So
I think some of the
it's very
bosses in the
cool.
dungeons were harder than that in
They
the
do
stronghold,
that
but
very well. The butcher. Did you see my YouTube
Mm.
video? My YouTube videos on the butcher.
I
First
watched
him
it.
murdering
Yeah.
me, and then
Yeah.
me murdering him. And by the way, people are talking shit
first time I saw him was today, and we fucking owned him. So get shit on, Butcher. You suck ass. Thank you.
about me, saying that I can't kill him in solo. I murdered Butcher in solo after that.
And to be fair, I was corpse explosion build, so even harder.
I'm just not gonna upload every single Butcher kill I get to YouTube, unless you want me to. He just
You're
ran
not that hard to do. I've seen plenty of people kill him like that.
random spawn in dungeons, and he is terrifying. If you
Yeah.
don't, if you're not ready for him, if you don't have a good build, if you're a casual player, he's gonna slaughter you.
Yes, you will.
And they even put some mechanics in where he doesn't last forever. He's gonna leave after a certain period of time. So you can't like bug him out all the time. Can't get him stuck on a door.
Yep.
Can't find like the perfect
Mhm.
opportunity. And that's even if you
Off-screen
can
'em.
survive that long. Those surprises, again, kind of like what I said earlier with the treasure chest. And
We
the
did get him
altars
stuck
were
on a
really
wall at one
nice.
point for a little bit.
Yeah,
That was
the
nice.
butcher is a very good improvement on the game. Like
He was
I
just ignoring my
absolutely think
skellies and just
If
coming
he
after me.
is- Like while leveling, I feel like he's a little bit too strong, but especially once you start hitting like different thresholds and like
Yeah, but
where
that's
your
fine.
character's actually pretty good. Like I think the butcher.
There's nothing wrong with hard content. There's nothing like you can think of the Butcher as like the treasure goblin, because it's like he dropped like a legendary amulet for me. I don't know if he always drops a legendary, but he dropped a legendary for me, so it was worth killing him, like and taking the time to kill him, especially when there's like higher loot from him, right? So I am okay with that. Like it's fine that there are certain things that are really hard and it takes a skilled player to kill. I think that's okay.
Is fucking awesome. Like
Or just a good build, whatever.
At, like level 14, like it's like okay, right? Like maybe it's good, maybe it's not. But I think like guaranteed 50 plus. Oh, it's fucking badass.
We had him spawn on us at 24, I think. So I don't know. He scales or whatever, but
watch any of these, so I guess I'll just trust you on that one.
They were
The
great.
world, the environment, and the art direction. I think in general, people really like that. It does feel dark and gloomy.
A lot of people complain that it's all the same. Of course it is. It's the same zone. It's like if you play World of Warcraft and you're able to play Elwyn Forest, and you're like, bro, like where's the desert? Like it's just a fucking the whole game, like World of Forests. Forest of Warcraft? Like, what is this?
Yeah, that's fine.
If you're willing to zoom in and
what'll be kind of sus though is if they release the game, because you can get to 25 in this zone. So if they only release like 2 zones, so you don't experience like all the 4 different seasons or like different areas or whatever, like that would kind of suck. Because I do really feel like they're gonna do some like DLC bullshit where like they withhold a lot of the game map and save it for like an expansion or whatever.
Attention to them. When you're walking through the thin snow, you have light footprints. When the snow gets deeper, you're literally like trudging through the snow.
Yeah, come on. Let's just cut the bullshit. You're talking about drawing dicks in the snow, right? Yeah, we know about that. Oh, we know all about that.
I did not know about that.
One of those pinned messages about Starforge for today.
I mean, even I don't really pay attention to that stuff too much, but that was pretty incredible. They did a nice job there. Even I noticed. The world bosses, we've only fought one of them. I liked a lot of things about the world boss.
Oh, because Starforge has a penis in the logo. Yeah.
Paid out. How you can kill her multiple times. This and that and this and that. How you can let low-level people go in there and ruin it. But the fight itself seemed fairly well tuned. When we first started fighting her with like some under-geared players, I killed her with 1 second left the first time. It's a 15-minute timer.
Oh my god.
And then as you learn her attacks, you can start to mitigate a lot of her damage.
Yeah.
So you feel like once you build a mastery with the world bosses, you die a lot less, whereas the beginning...
We found out that it's actually 1 second the timer goes to 0, and then like you still have another 5 seconds or so.
Kind of fucking annoying.
It's not that bad. The swipey wing attack, you just stack in melee and you can juke it.
Is that the debuff that it puts on
stack in melee.
The poison or whatever?
That shit does a lot of damage.
It's not immediately evident that you're being poisoned, and I wish there was a better indicator. Like in Diablo 3, there was an indicator. It was like right here on like the other side of your spell bar, and it would show you all the debuffs, so you could like mouse over them and be like, "Oh, I got a debuff. I died." I'm generally not a fan. I think it's okay.
Your health bar, your health
like
globe like turns orange-ish.
Sorry, at default.
I'll let you know
I think that experienced players and people that want that extra level of information should be able to enable that. I am always probably an advocate of more information if the player opts into it.
He's not gonna be happy about the add-on removal. In retail then.
There's just a lot of things there that are working. A lot of people are complaining that it's at fixed times. I don't know how they're going to do it on live, but I would like a little bit more freedom on when to kill them. But the actual design of the
exactly. And I also want to say, people say you can use poison pot, whatever. Like, I don't care really about the damage. I care about because I assume that the damage and the way that players are killing these bosses, it is not what people will do whenever the game comes out. It's not the way it will work whenever the game comes out. Because people will be higher level, they'll have more resources, they'll have more potions, and it just won't function the same way whenever the game actually gets released, because not everybody's going to be level 25. So I'm not that worried about the number that the damage does. I'm worried about the way that it's described.
Boss itself seemed pretty good. That goes for the bosses in general across the game. The bosses that I've seen felt unique, and they had their own, little quirks to them about how you had to learn to fight them. The problem with the bosses is that they're being pasted in too many times, in too many dungeons. Oh, I've seen this boss like 6 times. So it's not the boss design itself that I have a problem with. That part I think is good. It's the reusing of it that gets annoying.
Yeah, a lot of pretty much like I can't speak for Last Epoch again. I haven't played it. PoE, I mean, like, Brutus is the boss in like 2 or 3 different dungeons. There's like the bear boss, Grakthul. I think that you fight Grakthul and then also a bear with effectively does the same thing. Like, and also in Lost Ark, there's a lot of reused bosses as well. So this is extremely common.
We talked about this already, the random events. You want to click a pylon? Nope, here comes a wave of 5 monsters. You want to drink this health pool? Nope, here you get ambushed by an elite. All those little crazy things that I wasn't expecting. I love that.
Yeah.
I thought the side quests were good. Nothing too special about these. Side quests are in most games, but I thought theirs were pretty good. I enjoyed doing them. I found them not too buggy. You could go right to them, complete them, and you get the renown. Can't ask for much more than that. Character customization, this is another thing I spent no time doing, but people said that they loved it, so there's that.
Character customization was like the fidelity of the
I didn't do it,
characters
so I can't
is
speak on that.
phenomenal. It's great, but the truth is that Diablo Immortal had better character customization than Diablo 4. If you don't believe me, download it and try it. Hopefully you guys have phones.
I did plug in a controller and I played on PC. I gotta tell you, it went way better than I expected. I've never played, well, that's not true. I played Diablo for a few hours on the Switch, so I have played Diablo on controller before. Plugged in my Xbox controller, I didn't set...
You don't need Diablo 4. You don't need Diablo Immortals on your phone, though. You can play it on your PC. But he was memeing, obviously.
Any settings, I just plugged it in and I started playing, worked perfectly. And I was surprised at how well I could play.
It's a BlizzCon meme thing.
There's a lot of people who said that now that controller support is enabled for Diablo 4,
look up the BlizzCon video.
They don't want to go back to keyboard and mouse.
And then look at that, and then you get it.
The controller that tried it. Is it really as good as I think it is? And they all said yes. So you would expect it to be that good because they also made it for Xbox and PlayStation, right?
Yeah.
So it should be good. But
I thought about like adding a video. Like I do think that click to move is an
maybe I'll
inferior
play
way of playing video games.
Maybe I'll play on the
just very simply. It is an inferior way to WASD
on the controller
in like 99% of circumstances, and it requires way too much action for way too little reward. I think that if every game had WASD, it would be better.
Yeah, but WASD isn't that great.
It's pretty nice.
In an AARPG because you can't go like diagonal. It would be weird. Cause like in WoW you can hold right click and then like turn your character and then just do WAD or S whatever. So it's like doesn't work like that really in like a Diablo game. So controller is probably the better option for movement maybe, but
I'm just gonna tell you
I don't have a problem with the clicking and moving. I don't yeah, I don't see anything wrong with it. It's fine. It's not a big deal. But yeah, like MMO movement, third person, first person, whatever the fuck, is way better. Period.
What I think. I like the pace of this game. I like that it's slower. I like that it's not Diablo 3 mindless, brain dead, move at 10,000 miles an hour through the rift in 90 seconds, killing 500 monsters. And you just blowing.
I think we're gonna get to that point with Diablo 4 as well.
And the way you slow that down too is just keep like these like random events happening from like health wells or like a chest or like breaking pottery on the side of the fucking wall, because then people will literally start breaking that shit if they know it has a chance to spawn like a rare or whatever. Sometimes maybe they won't, but things just like that help
Act 1 in Diablo 3
stop people from just like speed clearing the shit.
Right. I like the slower pace, more tactical fighting.
Yeah.
I just think it's better.
I do think that I hope the devs of Diablo 4 have been paying attention to like PoE and the Arc Nemesis stuff that happened, because this was a problem that PoE did, is that PoE had extremely fast zoom gameplay, and then the players got so used to that, and whenever they tried to slow people down, I think this happened a lot, and it was the League, I think, after or before Ritual, and then they did it again with Arc Nemesis, that players resented it a lot. So don't let people go fast and then slow them down.
I'm sure as we get better builds, we'll get a lot faster and more powerful, but I like this pace a lot better. I just think it's better for the game. Some will disagree. We'll see the hate in the YouTube comments, but I'm just telling you what I think. Now let's look at some of the problems. Like I think these are problems with the game that
Okay.
Blizzard just needs to fix, and there's a lot of them. And I'm not gonna read 36 paragraphs here, but let's go through these quickly. Binding scroll wheel. People use this a lot.
You mentioned that
I wanted
already.
to use
Skip
this
it.
for
Skip
evade.
it. Skip
People
it. Skip
wanted
it.
to
You
use it
mentioned it
for
already.
force move. It doesn't work. Got to fix that.
Yeah, no reason.
Low
not to
level
have that.
players entering the
Yeah.
world boss zone just strictly griefing. They can't contribute. They can't do any damage. They die in one hit. And you can only have 12 people for a world boss. They're taking the slot of a player that could help you. A lot of people failed the boss fight. They just didn't have the damage.
Yeah, I agree with this.
Yeah,
I
that's
think that
fucked.
allowing low-level players that get one-shot by a world boss is
Simple fix is scaling it to everyone's level so they can contribute. Simple as that. Otherwise, kick them out. Don't allow them in the zone unless they're a certain level. Simple.
not a
Either
big
way.
deal.
Either way.
But the reason why it's a big deal in Diablo 4 is because the instance and area is locked to 12 players. Nobody wants to have 10 people there doing a world boss struggling at it, and they see 2 people that are under-geared or under-leveled. For example, Lost Ark solves this problem by having item-level requirements on fighting different world bosses. Diablo 4 should implement this as well, or they should make the people that aren't part of that cap not able to do damage to the boss and not able to get rewards.
Gotta find a way to fix that. There is a lot of dungeon backtracking. They just need to look at it and find a solution. There's 100
Someone says more MMO mechanics. Yes, absolutely. I think that Diablo 4 embracing MMO mechanics is good. I am a fan of that, and I hope PoE 2 does that as well. I'm not saying that PoE 2 needs to have 40-man raids. I'm saying that it would be nice if PoE 2 there was a shared area that players could post up at, like a town, and you could inspect people. That's it. I'm not saying that you need to have a raid to do Shaper. Just a few cool things.
Nah, that's dumb. Like, what's the point in that? It's just like, I don't know. I like having the MMO feel where you see people like even out in the world. I don't even like the caps, like the 12-person cap or whatever, but I mean, it is what it is. The dungeon backtracking though, the way you avoid that right now is you just do all the side quests like first, because the side quests will send you to dungeons. So a lot of the times people just like see a dungeon when they're like going through the main story or just like exploring the map and like, hey, I just go do the dungeon. But the problem with that is when they do the dungeon and then they go to the town that's like ahead, that'll send them back into the dungeon. And then they're like, well, fuck, I already did the dungeon. So like, I don't want to go back. Fuck that. But you need the renown so you can get like extra skill points and stuff like that. So you kind of have to do it. Like there's just one quest that gives you like, you have to go get like 3 different journals in 3 different dungeons. And I remember I had already done them. So like going back seemed kind of lame on my Necro. But on my Sork, I was doing all the side quests. So I never had that issue. And that's the point. Like if you don't want to have that issue, if they don't fix it, just do the side quests first. Because they are the quests that really end up sending you back, right, for like an orb or whatever the fuck.
100 different
Or a
solutions you
journal.
could use. I'm not going to list them all. They need to find a way to minimize this.
Yeah.
Memory leaks and performance issues. Remember up here when I said my 3080 was literally being torched?
3 series,
Again,
not good.
3080s had a unique problem with this game.
Yes.
They need to
Right.
fix that. Now the chain crowd controls are rough. Now let's talk about this for a second. You want crowd control to be punishing to the player. You want it to be punishing for many reasons. First of all, you want the elites to be scary, and that just improves, again, the tactical play. And you also want elites to have very powerful crowd control because you want the affix unstoppable to matter. You want to gain unstoppable through your build somehow.
I am not a fan of that on a fundamental level. I don't like the idea that the reason why you want crowd control is because Blizzard has put in a build, has put in something, and now you have to overcome this issue. Would the game be better if there were no crowd control and no unstoppable? I think that should be a question that Blizzard should take seriously.
Yeah.
Every time that there is a system, like basically some parasitic system that's added into the game just to force players into interfacing with a new stat or something like that, I generally think this is a bad idea. In New World, there were a number of these mistakes as well. And I also think that CC is not the only way you can make elites more interesting. I think that this is like, and I think, I mean, he knows this, right? It's just, this is one way you can make them more interesting. I don't like chain CC. I think getting CC'd once is fine. Getting CC'd twice is not.
How, if you can, and it increases the value of that stat.
Yeah,
I
it's
understand
just not
all these
fun.
things,
Or
like-
just when you get CC'd, let your evasion roll, like have that be like a CC break, so that like if you do get stunned once, you can break out of it, and if you get hit again by a stun, well, that's kind of your fault. But at least you have, or like maybe you want to soak the first CC and just take it because like you're not gonna die, and then like if you get CC'd again, then you use your roll. But that'd be cool too if the evasion roll was like a CC break, so you at least have like something to like get you out of a crap situation.
Get it. The thing that I have a problem with is the chain crowd controls that the game currently allows. You can eat like a 5-second stun into another
Into a
like
fear.
5-second freeze, it feels like, into another 5-second stun.
Yeah.
You literally can take your hands off the keyboard. You have no control over your guy and you die.
Yeah.
You can say things like, Rax, play better. Rax, take a skill to improve it. Guys, I don't need help.
It should not be a possibility for that to occur. That should not be possible. It's just bad. Why put a frustrating outcome into a game? Why not make it harder in a way that's more reactive?
Yeah.
Like I'll clear the whole game max level easily on every character. Don't worry about me. I think currently the chaining of crowd controls is a bit extreme.
That's what sucks.
So what I would ask them to look at is maybe the diminishing returns to the player
that's fine.
on chained crowd controls in quick succession. Because I had several deaths.
Yeah, there's no reason for that to happen. It just doesn't improve the experience for anybody, and I think it actively makes a lot of other people's experience a lot worse. So it's like, why is this good that it's in the game when at best it's a neutral? Like nobody gets chain CC'd and they say, wow, I'm having a lot of fun. However, there are probably a lot of people that get chain CC'd and say, wow, I'm not having a lot of fun.
It's like, wow, I can't
Where I
play my
was just-
character. Let me play my fucking
I
character.
pulled a lot of elites. Okay, I pulled the whole dungeon. I'm going to burn them all down. Maybe that's not the way they want me to play. But they put me in one CC, and I was CC'd till death.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not on a
fun.
weak character. I can take some hits, but you just never let me play my character again, and I died. It's one thing they should look at.
Yeah, it's just
Let us zoom out further in the
like
skill.
it sucks in WoW, it sucks in Overwatch, it sucks in PoE. The thing is, in PoE, there's a lot of ways to get to like turn it off, but like PoE is also like way more nuanced in that. And even that, like maybe they should rethink that for PoE too. I don't know. But it sucks in every game. I've never played a game where getting chain CC'd is fun or makes the game more interesting. Every single time that there's a game where that can happen to you, it makes it less fun.
Tree and impossible in the actual game. Would just like to see more. I can't see the full build, and I'd like to see more of the screen.
They said it well enough.
There are invisible walls in dungeons. I can
That's
give them
just-
specific
it's just
examples
bad
if they
design.
want. So annoying.
Yeah,
You're walking
yes!
forward and,
This is what I was talking to Matt about earlier. He's like, "What are you talking about?" Like fucking clueless fucking Joe over there. This is what I was talking about. Like, there's like that one dungeon where it has like the prisons in the back, or whatever, the prison cells, and it's like in the middle of these like two square like caged off areas, and there's a hallway right in the middle, and you literally can't go through it because there's an invisible wall, and you can go out and around and to the other side, but you literally just can't go through. It's like really weird. It's really weird.
it's like Harry Potter walking through platform 9 3/4.
Yeah.
Let's TP
yeah.
to party members without going to town first. This is something that I gave them feedback on very early, and they improved it. But I would like them to just let us TP to party members. You can already do it, but you have to go to town first, and then you have to click on their portal.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Please,
Quality of life.
don't make
This is another thing.
Quality
I
of
feel
life
like
improvement.
sometimes Blizzard makes the game worse because they're afraid that a handful of people will exploit the game. I think that in almost every single circumstance, it's better for
Maybe that could be
it's
exploitable.
better
I don't
for
know,
the
but
game to give people the ability to do something that can be a little bit cheesy because it's just better quality of life for everybody else. Is it worth is it worth making
I see what they're saying
millions
though.
of people experience worse?
Okay, like you're at
because
like if you're at like a world boss, you have one friend at a world boss, the other friend at the other world boss. Okay, we just killed this world boss. Now you teleport to the other guy, get the world boss. But like was like going to town is only like a few seconds anyway. So like you could still do the same thing. It just adds an extra step. So I don't know if it's necessary they're worried about that, but yeah, quality of life thing. Maybe they just like were like, oh crap, and never like did that. But yeah, I don't know.
135 of them are exploiting some teleport thing. Probably not.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Make me go to town to go to my friends. Just let me TP on them straight
Yeah.
away. Character order button doesn't work.
Oh yeah,
Fix it.
Yeah.
Drop rates are too high. Oh man, this is gonna.
3-hour queue time. What do
Okay.
You mean? There's a
Okay,
queue?
the drop rates being high are intentional for the beta because they want you to try shit. Like, I'm surprised he doesn't realize that. Like, it's just simple. Like, you're getting 7 or 8 legendaries from the world boss because it's the fucking beta. Like, they want you to get legendaries to try them out. Like, why wouldn't they do that? Right? Like, I don't know. Like, they always do that. With every beta they've done, like, they always make loot easier to get. Like, even the PTR for WoW, they literally just give you the items because they want you to test it out and try them. So, like, why are we so surprised that the drops are high? The rent's too goddamn high. You don't see anybody fucking do anything about that. But I guarantee you they're going to fucking decrease the drop rates. They always do that. If you've been playing Blizzard games for 2 decades plus like me, almost 3 decades, you fucking know this already. And it's wild that you don't. Okay, maybe not close to 3 decades, but over 2 decades.
What do you mean there's a queue?
Get fucked.
Okay.
It's not even that bad. 4K 60, interesting. Maybe I should try that. When I get my
Yeah,
when I get my
I don't
RAM,
know
I'll
if
try
that's
it
gonna work. It's
streaming
not
in
open
4K.
yet. It's fake.
for Diablo.
It'll reset at 10. I have no idea. Like, I don't think. How do you know it's gonna reset at 10? You have no idea.
This is going to be a contested one, and then people are going to say, Rax, you're so stupid for saying drop rates are too high in a beta. It's a beta.
Yes,
Guys,
I literally just said
let's
that.
make some assumptions.
Okay, go
Let's
ahead.
assume that there are no buffed beta drop rates, so
There
they're
are.
just normal.
There are. Yes, even Asmon
And
said it.
then
There are.
let's assume that our builds are going to get stronger. They are.
They are.
They are, for sure.
Yeah,
And
they
just-
did confirm that the drop rates are artificially inflated for the beta.
Yeah, no shit. Do
The
they have to really
literal
confirm
game
that?
Director said this.
Yeah, of course. If they weren't, it'd be
Speed, your
fucking
clear speed
cringe
is
as
gonna
fuck.
go up. It will. And then at the higher difficulties, there's way higher
Anybody
difficulties,
fucking
the
in there?
better.
Like,
You're
what are we
gonna
talking
get
about?
More loot.
Yeah.
These things are guaranteed. When that happens, the amount of loot you're going to get is going to go up only. It's just going to go up. And already at level 25, when I clear a 25 dungeon, my inventory is almost completely full. One dungeon. Full of blues, full of yellows. I'm not even talking about legendaries. I'm just talking about items in general. There's just so
It's
much
too much.
shit that drops. My inventory is full.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's so annoying.
They could add another tab of your inventory for sure. Like at least another tab or 2 tabs, or like the same as the stash, so you don't have to keep going back because it ruins progression. And I've talked about this even in MMOs. Like I got into the Shadowlands beta because I recommended this too, like to have like a quest giver like there to like just talk to and turn in, so you don't have to keep going back to town. You could just like continue questing. I don't think that going back to town like all the fucking time should be a mechanic. If you have to go back down and talk to somebody, I guess that's okay, whatever. But you should feel like, oh, if I see like a dungeon here and a dungeon there, that you can go to both dungeons and not like have to teleport to town in between each dungeon. It just ruins like the flow of gameplay, and it's just trash. Like when you can just easily add another tab for inventory. Like all you're doing is griefing the player base by like not having like another tab for inventory or larger inventory. Like, you know, and I pray to God they don't do some pay to win bullshit with that, like a lot of games do. But you know, stop griefing the players and just add another tab. Like it's very simple. Add like fucking 4 or 5 tabs. You know, even in WoW, there's 4 backpacks, right? 4 extra backpacks in the main backpack. Like, Stop fucking trolling with this shit. Like no one wants lesser or like a very low amount of inventory space. Or you can change each item to represent only one space, and then you double the inventory by doing that. But like this fucking bullshit of like, you know, I can only carry like 30 items at a time or whatever. It's so dumb. It's fucking trash. No one likes it. Just like fix it and please.
To have to,
And
if you're one of those people like to pick everything up, to have to salvage every time you do a freaking dungeon. I'm not even asking them to nerf the overall wealth that you build while playing the game. If you drop the drop rates, you can certainly drop the costs of things if you want to compensate for it. That's fine. But
it's inflated, point invalid. No, what's inflated is the
drop rate. Not the materials required to craft.
And like rare,
that's fair.
Legendary
Fair point.
Item drop rate. The amount of items that drop, as far as I know, is not inflated.
But just increase the inventory space
it's
too.
The legendaries.
Or make everything one
increased.
space only.
He's talking about the rares.
But to make sure that I wasn't crazy, I did a poll, and I'll be completely
It's not a lot of people
honest
in the poll, honestly,
the first
either.
poll that I did, it was 68 to 32. So I did the poll again to see if we could get 69, and we did. So I thought that would be a better screenshot. So here we are. 69% of people.
Yeah, but then he just pretty much
that the
told
drop
people
rates are
that.
too high. Play the beta. Tell me what you think. Get to 25. Do a dungeon. Do you think you just got too many items?
I think you get way too many items for not having a loot filter or not having a way to determine which items are good or bad. I don't want to have the situation where we're at the highest tier of Diablo 4.
I like getting a lot of items because at the end of the day, I don't want to sit there farming a same dungeon or dungeons like multiple times to get loot. Like I want to feel like I'm getting loot, and good upgrades every time I do a dungeon, right? Like you do a dungeon in WoW, you're expecting to get like one piece, and when you don't, it kind of sucks. Like whatever, I go back, you're getting experience kind of anyway, but like at the end of the day, it feels like shit. Like you want to feel like you get items. So I don't mind the rare and the blue item drops. I think that's fine. But what I don't think is fine is the inventory space. I think we just need like more inventory space or double it by reducing the amount of spaces that each item takes. Instead of having each item take up 2 spaces, have it take up 1. You know, it's pretty simple. But I know that will like kind of make the art for the, you know, tooltip of the item or whatever like look not as good because it's like smaller pixels, but I mean, it is what it is. At the end of the day, I think that's fine, but I just think we need more inventory space because it is annoying to go back every fucking time. But I don't want to like get less items and then like, oh shit, I just got all crap items because like, you know, most of the time you get like a few good upgrades, right? That are like decent. So you have to get all those items to at least like feel like you're progressing your character. What he's talking about is some like bullshit fucking. This guy plays like Diablo 3 like every fucking day of his life. Like nobody's doing that, bro. Like we want items to drop a decent amount. Like the legendaries, I get if you reduce that, that's fine. They're legendaries. But like what this guy is talking about, no, absolutely not. Keep the item drops the way it is, aside from legendaries, because obviously we know that's for beta, for testing, and increase the inventory. Increase the inventory or to decrease the space, to decrease from 2 to 1 slot for each item.
World,
done deal.
And we clear a dungeon and like 7 legendaries drop or something like that. I think that's kind of
that's never happened.
And
that's never happened.
Overwhelming.
It's literally never happened.
Something that's only.
Also, I would say this: that when you kill like someone like the butcher or someone like really hard, like a boss or whatever, you should have a higher chance of dropping a legendary because that feels rewarding, you know. And the way that like the system works anyway, it doesn't go in like your codex, right? You get those like powers from doing dungeons. So like, you know, who the fuck cares if you're getting like legendaries on the fly? Because like you can augment it once or whatever the fuck it's called, right? And then after that, you can't like put it on another item. You just have to like salvage it. So,
you know, for like world bosses and like really, really like big rewards.
I do. That's definitely how I feel.
I know, we know that.
I don't want any I say casual like it's a negative term. I don't mean it as a negative term. I don't want any people out there that aren't going to play too much, that don't have a lot of playtime, to feel like I'm reporting this to ruin your experience.
But you kind of are. You kind of are griefing.
You'd be spending way too much time salvaging shitty yellows.
No.
Rather than just playing the damn game, which is way more fun.
There
It
should
also-
be a way to
Inventory space
filter
increased.
yellows.
All you do is go back to town, you fucking look real quick, and then you fucking salvage, you get the fuck out there, and you move on. Like, he's making it seem like it's a fucking 3-hour ordeal. It's not. What's a 3-hour ordeal is someone trying to fucking, like, someone gets stuck because they're trying to do the game at a higher difficulty or whatever because they don't have the gear because they didn't get a lot of items. So I'd rather have too many items than too little items. Like, his thinking is just so backwards. Like, it's fucking wild to me. But, I mean, he's like a fucking grinder, right? Like, this guy is probably the CEO of Grinder. Like, he fucking loves grinding Diablo. And, like, me as, like, a more casual Diablo player, I don't want to fucking do that. I don't want to do that. Give me the items. Let me see which ones are good that I like. Because remember, Diablo doesn't drop, like, your perfect stat items. So you're going to have to, like, reroll at least one enchantment on the item, right? And you have to find, like, the boots with the plus evasion and, like, movement speed and, like, your main stat or whatever, you know? So, like, more items is good because not all the items that drop are good. So, like, I don't know. I get the whole thing with crafting and, like, oh, maybe, like, if the drops were lower, you could lower the amount of materials required for crafting. But, like, who cares? The easiest fix for this to make everyone happy is just increase the inventory space. Or, again, I've said this like 5 times already. It's the last time I'm going to say it. Decreasing the amount of bag space each item takes by 1. So they only take 1 space. And that doubles the inventory.
based off of the amount of affixes.
Or just add another
they have.
tab. Whatever the fuck you got to do.
So, like, especially whenever you get to high level, you're only really going to care about 4 and 5 affix yellows. You should never have to see, and like, to be honest, I'm talking about the 5s only. I don't want to see any 4s. I don't want to even imagine that a 3 could exist on my screen. I want to only see 5s, and that's it.
And that's true. That should be that way too, where you only see at certain, like, at a higher level or max level, like 4 and 5s. If you see less than that, it's like, damn, the game's trolling so hard, because it just increases the amount that you have to farm. Like, nobody wants to do that kind of crazy farming.
So is going to make it much more worthwhile when a legendary drops. If a legendary drops every 5 minutes, in 2 hours, you don't.
Yeah, but the
care when a
legendaries,
legendary
we already
drops
know that
anymore.
it's increased.
exactly.
But if only one drops every 2 hours, then when one drops, you feel like $1 million.
Not really.
You know
Not
what
if
I mean?
not if the not if the legendary power sucks, which a lot of them do, because they don't go or mesh well with your build. So that's also kind of not true. But I mean, I get what he's saying. But yeah, getting a really good legendary feels really good, for sure. But yeah, a lot of the legendaries aren't really that good, especially for your build specifically. So
Drop rates are
He's
too
right
high. You're
about
never
this.
going to change
Debatable.
my mind about it. 69% of chat thought so as well, but it was actually 68. Let us skip all conceits and NPC dialogue. This is a huge complaint, not just from me, from a ton of people. Please let us skip it.
I think there's
Yeah.
probably too much dialogue in certain cases. I don't know how to deal with that problem. I don't know how to solve that in the right way.
I feel like once you've done it once, you should
This
be able to
is a
skip
big
everything.
problem. When you re-roll
the first time,
you
you know,
can't see what's
maybe not.
possible.
I
I
don't
was
know.
trying to put thorns on
Yeah.
every piece for my thorns barb. I had no idea which pieces rolled thorns. Had no way to know. So I just
Yeah, that's
randomly
fine.
guessed, re-rolling all pieces, lost all my gold. That's just literally happened to me.
Yeah, this happens also with like different types of +1 to spells. Certain items can
Yeah.
roll +1 to certain spells, but it's not indicated in the game.
Yeah, that's bad. That's very bad.
Any time that a player has to use a third-party resource to learn something on the game is a bad time. It's silly to make somebody, hey, play this Gamba feature, but if you want to know what you should Gamba, you should go online and read a fucking spreadsheet. It's stupid. There should be a way for you to figure this out in game.
Yeah.
Prevent multiple world boss kills. When you kill a Shava, if you have a really good group, you kill her in a few minutes, you can go to town and port to another instance
We did that.
of Shava.
Yep, we
kill
did
her,
that.
Port to town, kill her another time. I've killed her 3 times in one 15-minute span.
Yeah.
Got to prevent this. It's going to bust the game.
But it's fine
I don't
though.
think it'll bust the game, but
Yeah, it's fine because you help the other players
it's
kill the
obviously
boss.
something
That's
that
fine.
Everybody is going to do if they can do it.
Yeah.
It's silly. It's not intended. Yes, this is like after you kill a world boss once.
But it's okay because, you know, I almost feel bad that we didn't do that sooner because we would have maybe killed the boss for them because they had like maybe the boss was at like 2%. We got there like when there was like 5 seconds left because we did it unintentionally. So I think like sometimes it's a good thing to be able to do that because, you know, they just can't kill the boss because there's low levels there or whatever, and then you come and you end up helping them kill the boss. So I think it's better for them to be able to kill the boss than for you not to go in there and then they don't kill the boss. So, and again, the legendary percent drop rate is going to be lowered. Maybe you only get 1 legendary, 2 from the world boss instead of like 7 or 8. So, yeah.
You should
That's
have
fine.
like a loot lock for an hour.
I don't see the point.
This is really complicated. Not gonna explain it. Blizzard will read it, hopefully. Fix it, Blizzard. Let's get that one.
Moving
Item
around,
stats
basically.
should have a hierarchy on the item itself. When you're comparing 2 items, it looks like the affixes that roll on the items appear in a random order. If it's not random, then
I don't
however
think
they have
so.
it set
I'm
up
not
is really
sure.
bad. Because they should order it. Here are the plus to skills. Here are the plus to the main stats. Here's
He's right about this for
Yeah.
sure.
Mhm.
Like it should have the main stat buffs at the top, and then the other stuff below that.
Yeah.
the other
Or honestly, the plus, because the plus 1 to skills at the top, because those matter a lot, and especially if they don't have the info to show what you can reroll on that item. That's the first thing I look at. Oh, does it have plus 1 to corpse explosion? Fuck, then my necro definitely wants this. Like that's really important, more so than the main stat. Because I think I took a strength boots or something that had corpse explosion on it, or gloves, and I was like, I don't care because plus 1 corpse explosion's huge, like way more important I think over the main stat. But I could be wrong on that.
offensive or defensive categories. They need to have a hierarchy for it so you can
But yeah,
compare it
definitely
really
some sort of
easily.
order.
I feel like I'm
Yeah.
looking everywhere and it takes forever to compare items.
Mm.
Notifications for important events, like Lost Ark has this. You can set, I want to know this island, this thing. Notify me when that happens, and that's it.
Yeah, there's no reason not to have a calendar and a calendar to give you updates when world bosses or other events are going to
Yeah,
happen.
absolutely.
It takes away nothing from the
WoW
game.
WoW has it too, so they can just take the system from that if they need to.
I think that will be important for this game. WASD movement or WASD. People want this. Please add it. Okay, now here's one. Transmogs. You guys care about transmogs, right? How you look. Currently, the way that you earn a transmog is you find an item.
Yeah, I agree
and
with
then
that.
you have to salvage it.
I agree. Just find
Why?
it, automatically have it.
Why
yeah.
do I have to salvage it?
I think this is again Blizzard that is they are they're being over
Well, the reason why you do it is because, and this is the reason why they do it, is because your friend picks up an item and you're like, hey, give it to me. Let me put it in my inventory just so I can fucking get the transmog, and then we're good. And then you can have it back. So at least I get the transmog. And like, who cares if people do that in the first place? But I guess, it kind of makes sense because transmogs, you want it to be more unique. You don't want everyone having your transmog. But yeah, like it kind of does. It is kind of shitty. But at the end of the day, you're probably gonna end up salvaging the item anyway. But at some point, unless it's like your BIS and you're like end game and you haven't had that appearance before, then it might be weird. But you're wearing it the whole time anyway, so you wouldn't need to transmog it, essentially. But yeah, it's probably just because people can just pass around items. This is what Asmon's probably about to say. You could pass around items and everyone can get the transmog.
protective of people like, oh my god, what if one person gets a piece of gear and then they trade it to somebody else and then they get the transmog, so you have like 2 items. It's just nuts. It's up. Okay, well, it'll be up for me in 4 minutes. We'll see what happens. Yeah, it's just like they're anti-min maxers. Yes, and this is again, you're so anti-min maxing that you end up hurting casual players. Yeah, that's what the problem really is.
Yeah, that's fair.
If you extract it, you don't get the transmog.
But yeah,
Why do
people
I
get
have to
sensitive about
destroy it to get the
transmogs. And it's
transmog?
like, oh, everyone has a
Yeah,
transmog, so it's not cool.
just stupid and pointless. I know there's some people who are not fans of WASD movement. If you don't want WASD movement in
Don't
Diablo 4,
use it.
you're stupid.
Or
I've
that.
read every single argument against it. Every single one of them is stupid.
Just allow for both. Don't like change it to WASD. Just allow for both. I think that's fine. Same with like using a controller versus keyboard and mouse. Like, who fucking cares? The people probably they want to
If-
play. There's no PvP in it. It's literally just PvE. Like, so who the fuck cares? Like, which is why also every character should be equally OP. Like, who fucking cares? No one cares.
You think that you're stupid.
It's literally a
There's-
PvE game.
That's nothing. That's it.
Diablo 3, all you have to do is find it. Why do we have to destroy the item to look like the item if we found it? It makes absolutely no sense to me.
I
Fixed
think
tool-
it's a vestige of the Warcraft system, where items have to be in one way or another soulbound to a player before the item becomes
Transmog,
transmogable
and that's
by
the
that
way to
player.
fix it.
So I
Yeah.
think they just applied the same philosophy to the Diablo 4 transmog as well.
Well, they could just make it soulbound to you,
Errors,
and then
especially
you
put
get
offhand on a
transmog.
sorcerer, it
Well,
tells
it
you
was
that
20 years
this
ago.
new one is better. It's not. I have many examples. It's just strictly wrong. Let us track multiple.
Yeah, the plus minus, like, don't have a plus minus tooltip if it's wrong. Like, if you can't correctly,
Mm-hmm.
if you can't show what the plus minus is in terms of like percentage or whatever, then that's it. I don't want to see it. Yeah, it's like Diablo 3 did a good job with this, but most other games did not. Okay. What's this here? Don't pay people, Zach. All HNSs? I don't know what HNSs is. Diablo 4 needs WASD movement. Every single person who's provided any argument of why it's bad is a moron. The arguments are stupid, and there's no logical conclusion to them that is different than it was like this before, so it should be like this. You're just stupid.
I agree with
It-
tracking.
It's not even worth
multiple
taking
quests.
seriously.
I agree with
So it should be like
tracking multiple quests. Where is crafting specific things while leveling up in D3. Cool crafting things that are in the game. Where is that in D4? I should look at something more like Last Epic or P8. No idea. On inspecting a player, show us their stats and skill points. Yeah, that's cool because you can't see that. Me and Matt tried that. Map overlay, that's fine. Show completed quests in the journal. Yeah, the tracking one is pretty big too, though. Or at least like, you know, for every quest, just show the location on the map. Like you have like the blue areas, or like, you know, like the orange area for events. Just show them when they're active, like, or like when you have the quest. Like, I don't think it's that hard to add that into the map overlay, or map interface, right? So, yeah. And I'm sure the other ones are more like, you know, quality of life things, like show completed quests in the journal, which is fine because especially if you want to be like 100% completionist and you want to look up like, oh wow, like, you know, did I do all the quests or did I not, right? And then you see, oh, I only did 30 out of the 40 quests, so then you want to find the other 10, but you don't know which ones. You instead of like typing up or looking through all the quests and all the locations, you can just like you can match, okay, which one do I not have in my completed section, and that's it. But yeah, that would pretty much be it. Some good points, I think. I think we covered a lot about what they can improve and, you know, change, and yeah, let's see what they do. Here's the hoping. Small in the company though.